Brian Kelly meets with the media at noon on Thursday. One of the questions I asked him, Ian Book said the other day that Coach Kelly commented what a great Tuesday practice they had. Going back to the days of Lou Holtz, he always knew during the week. If they had great practices during the week, he'd tell you on Thursday they're about to play great football. Brian Kelly said they didn't win anything on Tuesday. They set a standard. But that's a very, very good sign that they were as dialed in and locked in. He called it, one of the best Tuesdays that he's ever been involved with during game week.
And probably important for game week more so this year because he did lament the fact they had 22 August practices. They were scheduled to have 25. And remember, they would normally be scheduled to have 28. And I thought it was interesting that he mentioned, I have purposefully not had practices before because we didn't need them, but he wishes he had 25. So I'm sure this time he wishes he had 25. So I'm sure that having a great Tuesday practice was the most important thing for him. And I think he reminded us all, look, veteran offensive line, Ian Book, we should have a good practice. That happens with veterans.
Yeah, I would imagine that those less than 25 practices came before he was at Notre Dame. Maybe not. You would hope so.
Right.
But he talked about the linebacker situation. But before we get to that, just a little housekeeping. In the press box on Saturday will be Tommy Reese and John McNulty on the offensive side, and defensively Clark Lee and Terry Joseph on the defensive side. But the question was asked right away about Jack Lamb. He didn't really say anything about Maris Leofau beating him out. It was more Jack Lamb was hampered by the hip injury, and it was a serious hip injury. But then he went and said that he is going to be a part of the special teams, which that kind of lost me there, because if you weren't healthy enough to be the sub package linebacker, I don't know how you'd be healthy enough to play special teams.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. What you mentioned it right afterwards, and that's a good point. I think maybe the sub-package linebacker was gone anyway, with Jeremiah Usu-Koromoa taking it, never coming off the field. That's possible. Look, if we would have said 3 months ago, neither Lamb or Simon was able to get through this, and they are backups, I don't think we'd have blinked. But we really thought that Lamb had made strides. We have found out since Shane Simon has made strides. So I think the key for Lamb is if you don't see an increased role around Florida State, then it's an injury that's going to bother him this whole year, because I think with just special teams and a week off, he should be really fighting for some backup snaps at that point.
I still believe that he played too effectively last year, that if he's healthy, he's going to get an opportunity to play this year.
Yeah,
a significant role.
He diagnosed everything on third down. He was very good in that role. He's a guy that I think had 5 or 6 third down stops, third down wins, we call them. And remember, that's all. He only comes in on long yardage, so he didn't have a chance to do it in 3rd and 1. That's a really good effort by a solo linebacker coming in a dime package.
Last thing, Osita Ekwonu, we had clarified after he had talked about him playing running back. We didn't have a chance to follow up with a question. We immediately said on a message board that Ekwonu was still playing linebacker. He confirmed that. He says he's still in play for short yardage and goal line, but Ekwonu is back working at Mike linebacker. That's it for Instant Analysis.